Okay, welcome to 7020, the diplomacy and the international system. The name of our group is Soft Power, and the members of the group is Marcelo Tayon with me. I'll be doing the introduction and as well as the conclusion. My colleague Bimobo Williams will be doing the emerging role of non-state actors and their influence in global politics, followed by Viraj, who will be doing diplomacy of private organization, and then Angel will continue with the diplomacy of global businesses. To begin with, what are actors in the world of politics? At the international arena, many players are engaged in what is generally referred to as the game of international politics, where we have two main players. Now, on the right-hand side, you could see a little draft which I've made. We have the world politics, and at the middle, we have key players. On the left-hand side, we have the state actors, and on the right-hand side, we have non-state actors. But what we'll be discussing today is about the non-state actors. The diplomacy of non-state actors. What are non-state actors? Non-state actors are individuals, group of individuals and organizations with significant political influence, but independent of the government. They are not directly affiliated or funded by the state in any way. That is a definition from Levity 2012. Who are they? Who are they simply means, what are the examples? We'll look at examples from an individual perspective, moving towards a global perspective, like organizations. From an individual perspective, we have things like private organizations. Examples would be like the Bill Gates Foundation. The second one is intergovernmental organizations, also known as the IGOs. And we'll have examples like the United Nations, the World Bank, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, the NATO, and then the Group 8, which is also known as the G8. The third example is going to be the non-governmental organizations, also known as the NGOs. We have under the NGOs, we have Amnesty International, we have Oxfam, we have Save the Children, we have Worldwide Fund. And then we also have the multinational corporations, which is also an example. And under that, we have corporations like McDonald's, we have Sony, we have Toyota, and then we have Hilton Hotel. We'll be moving to the next member of our presentation, who is Williams. Over to you, Williams.
Okay. The globalization and evolution towards the democracy of the international society has brought the advent of other actors. Non-state actors such as non-governmental organizations, multinational corporations, media channels, opinion leaders, and the general public are increasingly gaining importance. The emerging role of non-state actors are instigating the development of new strategies for communication and influence, engagement techniques, and the creation of opportunities for dialogues, making the most of new technologies and social networks, which have become their usual means for communication with internal and external publics. There are changes in the concept of sovereignty and nationalism. The policies, decisions, and actions of nation states bear increasing influence of the presence and activities of non-state actors. They have emerged as powerful non-political actors in the international environment. They have been playing important roles in promoting international cooperations and collaborations, although these have been sources of conflicts and tensions. Next slide, please. Importance of the influence of non-state actors. The rising power of non-state actors is of the utmost importance because as the international community seeks to engage in more and more different global challenges, the non-state actors help to form and empower multinational relationships of citizens, institutions, non-governmental organizations, and businesses. They help to create convergence around common standards that protect global public goods on a wide range of issues like climate change and gender inequality. They also create opportunities for countries that are flourishing and have international recognized strengths in institutions and civil society to be more confident in finding ways to reach out across the world. Next slide.
Diplomacy of global business. Role of global business. Diplomacy of global business is an important factor in non-state actors. Many companies are interfering in so many global crises around the world because it will affect the global economy. Relationship between private and public sectors. Government is giving high importance to the private sectors and consider them as the head of the state. And also discussions changed from business to socio-political issues. They are not come for business, but also for flourishing the relationship between states. From this, new initiatives of global commercial enterprises like World Business Council for Sustainable Development and the Intellectual Property Committee. These types of initiatives are rising and which engage the private and governmental sectors in socio-economic political policies. Coming to diplomats and global business. The retired diplomats are appointed in the private sectors to advise the CEO to manage relations internationally. Because working with these international experts will be a merit for the corporates. Their international business will be flourishing due to this. By influencing economic and social policies, the private sectors can easily get new business opportunities around the world. So this is how they are working, and the diplomacy of global business is a very important factor in the non-state actors. Next.
The diplomacy of private organization. The main part of the diplomacy of private organization is the TSMO. TSMO stands for the Transnational Social Movement Organization. We can see that the change in TSMO and private organization. The role of TSMO and private organization increased rapidly in recent years. Organizations like childhood welfare, humanitarian rights have started to develop their range and clarify their roles to people, government, and organization. After that, we can see that the expand in the diplomatic capacity. Many organizations came together internationally and that pushed TSMO to expand their diplomatic capacity, like the Amnesty International and the Save the Child have expanded their organization and set up their office at UN in New York. But there are many other organizations, they don't have the sufficient budget to set up this kind of office in New York. And after that, we can move on the state and the non-state working together. After the crisis of Prague in 2003, means after the Cold War, we can see that state and non-state actors are working together to solve the many problems like the organization or the NGO government and many others. Now after that, TSMO are shifting toward new pattern. The only dynamic characterized TSMO relation with the public and private sector is shifting toward a new pattern of interaction to the public. This pattern can change the international diplomatic system. After that, the finally traditional machinery of interstate diplomacy is coming. This method helps actors to exert their influence. The properties of globalization make a neat progression from diverse to unitary actors. Next, please.
To conclude, we have been able to discuss emerging roles of non-state actors and their influence in global politics, the diplomacy of private organizations, and the diplomacy of global businesses. Now, from the discussion, we've come to see that power is spread out from state to a much broader range of actors. A diplomatic deficit has been created in the old structure of international relations. However, this presents an opportunity for countries willing to reach out to non-state actors. Here we come to the end of our presentation, and thank you for listening.